Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Let me check my levels here. Yeah, sure enough, coming through. So let's go ahead and jump in. So we left off last time with sort of a philosophical question about where we wanted to handle uniqueness, deduplication, sort of our integrity checks. Where I've landed is I think we want the query or sort of the delta tables to not necessarily be unique. Just from reading documentation and the design for how that's supposed to work, we want these to be high throughput and quick, and then via partitioning. In the way we set up the tables, we can easily write views on top of them that actually handle that integrity check. So that's sort of my plan there. So I think the best place to get started is jumping into our nightly job. Let me go ahead and kill teams again. I always forget to do this before a stream, and otherwise it's just going to explode the entire time. So I've never tried this, but can't I do... I think I can turn on focus assist. We'll see if that does it. I'll probably forget to turn that back off and wonder why I'm not getting any notifications. Oh well, okay. So as expected, bronze is still working. That's really the one that we need, guarantees on. Silver will always catch up later if needed. And let's go ahead and take a look at what was going on with silver too. I think we know from last time, but just in case, because you never know. There could have been an entirely new, unanticipated error that popped up. Oh yeah, sorry I keep yawning. I was doing a non-live development stream up until pretty late last night. Okay, that's a problem. So I want to go ahead and just roll this right back. Let's do this. Let's roll this right back to where it was. Because I was pretty happy with, relatively happy with where things sat previous to that. Come on, there we go. Okay, so now let's start our cluster. Let's also crack open Power BI. Oh, man. I had a large latte, but sometimes it's Sometimes it's just not enough. I kill teams. There we go. Don't kill Streamlabs though. Okay, it's thinking. Yeah, I changed my internal password, so it's gonna need a new one. And I apologize. I'm gonna send out a message real quick. One of those Teams messages was important. Okay, let's connect to this account. Sorry about that. Okay, let's connect. As I've said before, but I'll encourage again, if anyone has preferences on scheduling for this, we're sort of trying out Saturday, trying out midweek, sort of a lunch session, but there's really not, with as busy as all of us stay, especially in 2020, there's not, a perfect time, but I'd like to, run this as a democracy. So you're always welcome to let me know. Okay, so while that connects, let's pop back over to Bricks. Come on. I hate when it does that. Sometimes in the UI, it does show, yeah, you can see it's still spinning. Okay, that's fine. I'll go ahead and do a run all so that once it's actually ready, it'll just fire directly off. And this is going to think probably until the cluster is alive. There's sort of a, when you're not using a data warehouse to back this, there is a central dependency on your cluster being warm. That is where cluster pools can come into play. We haven't set that up for cost purposes previously. But it's something I'm kind of curious about doing. Almost everything with Databricks so far has come out cheaper than I anticipated. So that, that could be the case too. I think, not clusters, pools. I think, what would be nice is the ability to do, scheduling with it. So like we could set minimum idle, but that's going to be ongoing. That's not like during working hours. That's 24/7. So that supports particular types of infrastructure paradigms where you want that guaranteed uptime for your cluster. Like let's say you were supporting complete data lakehouse, purely through this native connector, that would probably be the appropriate mechanism to do. Let's go ahead and hop over to transform now that our cluster is warm and see if it won't go ahead and authenticate properly. I think that was a step results in a query. Let's steal these back. That's interesting. This step result, because this very well may be. So I upgraded the version of Power BI to the October release. There's a couple of features in there I'd like to explore, but that may have been what caused this to not be supported. It also may be the case that since our delta got messed up, that it's not available. Let's go ahead and do a save as. And we'll call this DQ for direct query. And we'll go ahead and let it do our import mode. Excuse me. So we'll switch all tables to import. Now this is a reversal. That's why we saved off a branch, right? So we'll let that switch over. Everything's just thinking. That's cool though. I assume that this is clocking out my CPU. Yeah, that's fine. I need to water cool this thing or put it in a dry ice container. Because really it's the throttling here that I think is causing this performance issue. Huh. Okay, well, let's see what Silver's up to. So, man, it's still thinking too. I'm telling you guys, everything's just slow today. Just slow. Okay. It's thinking because these are writing out. And these are working in parallel. That's another one of the benefits of doing our stream. So remember, in our architecture, everything is coming from this primary stream up here. This, where is it? The streaming data frame coming from a raw delta table. And so we can have massively paralleled syncs all coming from the same source, which in my opinion is pretty freaking cool. And one of the reasons I'm not going to switch back to a batch infrastructure, even though that would support some better semantics as far as deduplication in real time. But, you know, that's sort of the idea there. Another thing I was going to talk about, so one thing we might do is not register our intermediate tables, or we might just call them, query tables instead. Um, because we're going to primarily write these deduplicated views as data frames. So they don't need to be available in the SQL registry, and only tables that we're providing to the end user will be. So I'll show you what that means here in a second. But essentially, this this table registry. There we go. Yeah, this table registry should probably be empty. Okay, so I think that's done. That's interesting. We got some markdown duplications. Let me clean this up. And let me make a note. I want to clean up some of these flattening functions. Wow. Jeez. Everything's a little fussy today. And I like cloud native applications as much as the next guy, but this is one of the downsides. Wow. Let's let me refresh this. Whoa, no, not. Come on. It's just bizarre. Some of these are still using the hard-coded flattening logic. So what we're going to do, I believe over in one of these episode files, I can't remember where, we dropped all of those tables. And so we're going to do that again. Just the table registry. We're going to keep the keep delta available, because we're going to create the views in the gold zone instead of in silver. So I guess first, we'll go ahead and kill this registry. And just as a reminder, let's go look at the function folder so we can clarify again what we're doing here. So we're leaving in this logic that writes it out to the data lake in the delta format. We're just not registering the SQL table. And really, that's because we want the only SQL tables to be coming from the gold zone. Because we don't like, if we want to, we can query from these tables directly in place anyway using their location. We don't necessarily need to register them with Hive. So we're just going to clean this out. Okay, so okay, just gonna clean these out. Not a lot to be said here, just cleaning out, cleaning up our dirty work, our trash. If I organize this, cool. Okay, so now yeah, this is what we did. Just dropping all the tables. And then our data lake data will still be there. This is just going to be dropped. Okay. I had to bump it up to 20 because I created a new table yesterday in the Databricks user group. I'll clean this out. Okay, perfect. So notice over here, we're all cleaned out, good to go. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is take a list of how do I want to do this? Yeah, we'll do it like that. We'll do it. We'll do it in place over here. Just thinking about organization. Okay, so for gold, so our goals today. Come on. Cool. So we'll start here. And then let's go ahead and crack open Sublime Text. So we need this list of tables. I always need to look at markdown references. One of these days I'll memorize it. I'm looking for the markdown table command, which I think is, yeah, like this. Maybe they've got it over here. Shout out to Mr. Paul Andrew. So here's the markdown. Not seeing how. So that is the right markdown. I'm just dumb. We'll do it like this. That looks nice. There we go. These already ran. These debug things we don't need. So we're going to be using where is it? The same logic that we use to read in df raw. We'll do it for df query, and we'll do it for each of these tables. So for instance, if the first thing we want to do is handle badges, then we'll have df badges, and we'll do read instead of read stream. Because I don't think there's a need to work with this as a stream. Technically we could, but I you know, as we decide to do aggregates and things, I think this makes more sense. And then this will be untapped query. What is that variable called again? Query base path, and it'll be plus cool. And then we'll do we'll do some cleanup here. Just to make the code a little bit more readable. I'll have this just be equal to df badges dot distinct initially. Let's go ahead and take a look at df badges first. So these, if we sort by so the first thing we want to do is what is it, with column renamed, and we want to change ID to be badge ID. We'll keep the distinct. And it looks like this is getting us our counts. So that's good. That's really good. Let's do a duplication check. So if we did so that's 522, and then this should also be either 522 or less. We'll see. Yeah, okay. Sure enough. We'll keep the uniqueness logic in there. We'll also do yeah, we'll do that there, and that's fine. The time looks good. User badge ID. And let's also do come on. I think they've improved a little bit of that in the newest runtime I was reading. The autocomplete during chainings. So we want this to be badge name, just to make it a little bit easier. And then cool. And then if I recall correctly, I guess we can deal with that later. We want a primary timetable. Let's see over here. If we steal this code. And we go ahead and look at the fact table. We want to see, maybe it's facts. We want to see if there's a time dimension in there that we can use instead of sharing it across tables. Yeah, I created at let's go ahead and display that too. So created at, that's interesting. So over here, there's that cleaner time column. Now, that is so interesting. So within DF raw, in badges, this is called created at. So where's it getting time? Oh, we're aliasing it. Okay. Got it. Got it. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and drop that column. Just to make things easier on us. So then what we're going to use is our write delta table. Then we'll do sanctioned. We'll call this badges, just as we have before. And the zone is just going to be sanctioned. Should be right. So this is something we'll have to play around with the overwrite, but I think we should be good there. We do want to include, what's the command we did up here? I believe it's the allow changes or ignore changes, which we did go ahead and include in there. Yeah, okay. So we should be good to go. So let's go ahead and rerun this. I think this is just called mode. Okay. And then we'll steal our registration code. Probably thinks that it's empty. Maybe. Yeah, so let's hop over to Azure. Oh, my brain just went straight over to Databricks. I got daydreamed for a second. Okay. So let's go ahead and steal this. So this should be sanction zone base path name. Because this clearly didn't do what it was supposed to. So I'll do df badges unique format delta, path, format sanction path name, and then this will be badges, checkpoint location, badges, and then mode is overwrite. Name badges is not defined. Format. Did this do it? I think it's fair to say that no, it did not. So it's just odd. Let's make sure there's data there. Yep. That's just bizarre. I'm trying to even get it to, like yell at me. Where's our functions? I don't think I need to have like a start or anything. At least I haven't had to before. I'm trying to think what might be different about this. Okay, and I guess we could look at bronze. Oh, okay. Jeez, I thought I was going crazy. It's the dot save. Instead of dot path, we need dot save. The dot path is an option for the structured streaming. It had to be something simple. Okay. Okay, DF badges view. No spaces in delta column names. Always forget that. Now it likes us. Now it's doing stuff. And that's why it was returning that right handle, that writer object, because technically we could cache that writer object, and until we tell it where to go, we could pass it around as a pointer to, as long as we want. But it's not going to actually do any action until we call save. So that's what you get working and streaming for a week or two, and then you come back and forth and back and forth. And even though I've done this, plenty of times, you just forget stuff. That's part of the goal of these sessions, is to show you even if you work in something every single day, there's still plenty to learn and plenty of questions to ask. So we were able to register that. Perfect. So I want to check something real quick. I want to check if it's available in Power BI. This is still thinking. Jeez Louise. So I want to do a save as here, and then I think this is going to be the one in import mode. And I'm going to delete all of these queries. No, not this. Crap. There we go. This. just to make sure we're on the right track. So we'll do import. Cool. So that's all working. So I'm going to do the same thing here real quick for our facts. So we'll start with facts. What the heck? Okay, so let's display this real quick. Okay, so this is all good. Check in comments. Why are... I guess we just haven't looked at this in a while. I didn't think that comments would be in the fact table. Oh, it's my comment. Yes, that should be in there. Perfect. Okay, cool. We'll go ahead and register these. So this is the fax unique. We'll call it fax. Okay, so fact is written out. Now we'll do the other ones. Should be pretty quick. What do we call it? Yeah, fact beer. We got it backwards. Okay, more Teams chatter. Okay, so this looks good to me. There's not a whole lot going on in these, so we'll probably just pull them through directly as is. And what's the... I'm going to edit mode, insert cell below, Control Alt N. I'll be needing that. I just have to remind myself. We'll create some room. Okay, so this is very unique. I want to double check this. Okay, cool. Yeah, that all looks good to me. Okay, so then we'll do the same thing with brewery fact, I believe it is next. So let's just bring this straight through. Okay. So let's see if they're in there now. That's no good. Interesting. Oh, it's described detail. Yeah, that should be in there. Huh. Weird. But hey, at least this native connector works now. It seems to be a lot better than the Spark connector. Can't complain too much. This is supposed to be coming from fact. It's just interesting. It clearly has visible columns and can, in fact, be queried from. Oh well. Let's apply these. Gotta let Power BI think, do its thing. And we can see with the properly labeled names, it'll even make our relationships for us. We still want the snowflake to come in from here though, like from the central fact table. So we'll fix that real quick. Don't yell at me. I'm hearing beeps in the background. I don't know. Value cannot be null. Parameter name key. Okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. We'll do the one between fact and facts brewery. We'll do it on check-in ID and we'll make it both. And then we need to fix this guy too. Clearly Power BI is grumpy about something. Okay. And we'll wait until we have fax badges in there to do our connection. I'm a little over on time. I'll do fax badges just so you guys can get closure. Definitely not so that I can get closure. I really do have to resist the temptation to just come in here some, weekend day or whatever, and just bust out the rest of the architecture. That's, I think, the one thing I miss about doing it on Saturdays. Didn't we already have... Yeah, DFX badges, that's what I meant. Perfect. Okay, let's push this through. Badges. Let's let the preview evaluate and see if it barks at us. Yeah. That's so bizarre. It's just bizarre. Import. And watch this freak out. Oh no, that one of course works. It's because I told you guys it wasn't going to. That's cool. That is cool. Okay, come on. Let's evaluate, do your import. We haven't refreshed anything. Exactly, thank you. Yeah, hello for you. I do not like all these relationships it auto-detected with fact badges. needs to chill out with that. This should be able to be. That should be unique. That should be unique. Badge facts unique, and it needs to be distinct on. Oh no. Never mind. There's gonna be. That's right. Each check-in could have multiple badges. So why? That's interesting. Okay, so this is clearly a great one to do right before I stop. I don't think we can get that unique on check-in ID, and I don't think like the fact table is suddenly going to be non-unique on check-in ID 2 if we include all of the badges. Which means that if we filter on a particular badge, like we couldn't get the beers associated with it. Crap. Um, yeah, at some point there's going to have to be a mini to mini in there. That sucks. Because everything else is unique. I guess let's make this mini to mini. And let's do like I want to do a quick example, and then I'm gonna have to call it. So let's do. Let's just do a table. So for each beer ID, we'll get its corresponding brewery ID. Let's do it like this. Let's do brewery ID, and let's see how many beers Let's make this a count. So you can see how many, yeah, how many, and then we can make a slicer. Okay, this should work okay. Okay. Now I'm a little bit less concerned. And then we can also see how many badges have come with it. And then maybe I can even make a little badge name card. Cool. Okay. We'll call it a day there. So looks like all of our relationships are working. We have a couple more things to bring out, but this dimensional model starting to come together. Our native connector is working. This is cool. I will catch you all next week. Thanks for tuning in.